everybody. My name is Skybound.
Starlight Flux.
And we've just finished watching episode 11 of Steins Gate.
Wow.
And things are getting interesting.
Well, they
apparently.
not
things
even
have been getting interesting.
Things have been getting
saying that every single.
We
episode.
have been, of course. That's because it is generally getting interesting. I mean, we're not just saying that because there happened to be a fan service scene in this entire thing. With, it was a complete bait and switch, that scene, because we thought there was going to be something horrific.
Yeah.
And then it turns out it's just a fan service.
It's just like the most. Well, that's the thing. It's just like the way it was sort of shot. It looked like it was going to be something a lot more graphic, especially with that text message that you got with the picture of it, which looked like it looked like a human head. Except it didn't. It looked very.
It looked like doll.
It looked like a doll head, but it looked like it had blood coming out of it. So it's like a really creepy kind of text to receive. And then he tries to call Kurisu and doesn't get an answer, and then he's freaking the hell out. So yes, that was a weird one. Also, I think the most important thing about this episode is that CERN connected to their computer
rather than the other way around.
Rather than the other way round.
So in other words, they've hacked into their computer.
Which might also explain why they know so much. Why they're sending over those text messages.
Yeah. Well, as we said before, I think I think all these time travel things he's doing is moving it closer and closer to CERN actually taking over. In this timeline, they're basically, they're getting more and more control over time travel, essentially. So they're basically, the more and more, like, they move closer to that, well, I don't know what the hell those numbers are that they show when he manages to do those time travel.
Well, they seem like they're kind of decimal points, really. It's like naught, but it's always 0 point something.
Well, it's quite clearly they're moving it closer and closer, but I think it's going to get to a point when he's going to have to start moving it back the other way, because
but the only way
it's getting worse and worse. It's getting into a worse and worse scenario.
Well, the way they moved it backwards is by they just kept sending mails to the past.
Yeah.
So surely the way they move it forward again is by not sending those. But
yeah, but then they can't send it. It's just going to continue as it is, and they can't knock it back the other way. CERN's still going to have more control than they did before. We need to find a way of altering it. I think this is where that thing they were talking about being able to send their entire memories back in time. I think that's where that's going to have to come into it.
Well, yeah, that's the thing as well. So previously, all they've been doing is sending text messages to the past. Now they're building a machine that's going to send memories to the past, which could work excellently, or it could be even worse.
Mm. Well, the thing is, the problem is it's not actually sending them back in the past. The problem is still going to be the same. They're going to be still stuck in the present and going back and trying to retroactively change it, but they're still going to be in the present. So it's not like they can completely control it. They're just sending entire memories back. And I do wonder if this entire thing is like, you know how they said that when he had that fever, like when he was a kid, he had a similar sort of feeling to what he has when he jumps from timelines. And I have a sneaking feeling that if they can send memories back in time, that was a similar sort of thing. He's basically travelled all the way back to his childhood, and then he's travelling all the way forward again. It could be something like that. The
other thing that I'm kind of curious about is, it seems like those threats he's receiving are getting more kind of overt. Really, they're getting more kind of certain. Like before, he just got sent a picture of some red jelly, which isn't particularly frightening.
Well,
depending on the context, really.
Considering.
But the picture that he received in this episode is a lot more kind of creepy. It's a lot more disturbing.
Because the other one would have been only disturbing if you knew about the whole Jellyland situation, with people turning into basically goo when the time travels.
So that really begs the question: what is going to be happening in the next episode? Is he going to receive another text message from presumably CERN?
I can see him basically trying to sort it. Well, yeah, I can see that happening, but I can also see him being able to do.
Or are they actually going to do some action and actually kind of take someone from the future gadget laboratory for like interrogation or something?
Possibly, but
because if they've established a connection to their computer, presumably they can get all sorts of information, IP address, MAC address, all that kind of stuff.
Well, IP address isn't as reliable as people think it is. You can easily change your IP address.
Well, yeah, you can change your IP address, but what you can't change, you can change what location you're connecting from. That's called a VPN. They exist for a reason. But I feel like if they've established a direct connection to their computer, they can very easily sort of track where they are. They can probably, like, even with just the resources on the computer itself, like a computer can tell you what time zone are you in, what...
Yeah, they have enough information to track them down, that's for certain. So
yeah,
I think, to be fair, I think he has no choice but to try and get this time travel sort of experiment working. That he has to try and send his memories back into the past and try and stop this from happening. Yeah,
although it really, I guess it's really just curious what's gonna happen when he does send his memories back, or will he need to send his memories back, or I would guess they'd have to send a human's memories back because they need to be able to understand the consequences of the change. It's not the kind of thing where you can just do like lab rat kind of thing. You can't just get a random animal and send its memories back because you won't be able to understand what's changed about it. You have to this is one of those things where you have to do it with a human, which means it's going to be either Okabe. It's going to be either Okabe, Maishi, Kurisu, or maybe Moeka. Or the girl who keeps being called Part-Time Warrior, who I keep forgetting the name of. Someone has to go back, has to get their memories let back in time. But it's still a question of who would actually do it so far.
No,
I guess we will find out.
We'll find out in the next episode, but
for the time being,
I think this is just an episode leading up to more stuff next time round. I think this.
Pretty much. I don't think there's anything.
It wasn't doing anything major. It was just setting it up for what's going to happen next episode.
Setting the scene, essentially. Well, interesting episode. We're going to see what happens next time. For the time being, slightly shorter kind of review video than usual, but I'm sure no one's complaining about that.
Well, to be fair, it wasn't really like this episode was any particular.
Yeah, there's not really to make theories of at the moment.
No, there isn't, because it's just going over the same ground before. He's still sending threatening emails. They're connected to the computer. They've actually figured out a way that they could potentially send memories back, which is a damn sight more information than just a text message, because you can't lose the context of the text message. You can make sure things actually go according to plan, because then you can send memories. So,
but yeah, see our reaction thing in the description if you want to see our sort of live reaction to that. For the time being, it's another interesting episode, and I look forward to see what we've got going on next week. For the time being, my name's Skybound.
Starlight Flux.
And we'll see you with the next episode of Steins Gate. Goodbye.
Right.